Can't beat a nice salad in the summer with a bit of steak. So in the last video, obviously it was about me not getting into the All Englands, but since that has happened, there's been a couple of updates on that. So first of all, they released an extra day, which I think is awesome, which allowed a lot of people that were on the waiting list to get into the competition. But it has now been announced that it is no longer going to be a national competition, and it's just going to be called the Manchester Open, which is very disappointing, especially for the people that are actually in the competition, because it's no longer going to be considered a national competition. Therefore, records which are at British level will not stand. And yeah, I think just overall it is very disappointing. Obviously it doesn't really affect me in any way, because I didn't get into the competition via the waiting list either. So yeah, just to update on that really. Yeah, I think, like I said in the last video, it's a real positive that there's been such a big uptake in people applying for this competition. I think 500 people tried to enter the competition, with obviously some of them being successful. So it's amazing how much the sport has grown, and I think next year that just needs to be revised a little bit. But you know, we've gone over all of that, and we are moving on. We're now thinking about the next goal, and I've got a lot of sort of ideas in my head about what I actually want to do with my training. But as for now, things are just going as normal. So this week's training has been the same as if I was competing in around sort of August time, and just continuing the same programming. So on Monday I did manage to actually get a new SSB Squat PB. So I managed to get 3 reps paused on 217.5 kilos. So I was very happy with that, and it was nice to just have a normal training session and basically not panic about the fact that I'm actually not training for anything at the moment, because I'm definitely someone that likes to have a training goal. I need to have that sort of drive and focus towards something. So I was a little bit worried that when I did that, then I was going to go off the rails and do something a bit stupid in the gym. But I kept my discipline, and I'm just continuing with my training at the moment. Tomorrow I have in fact got a very heavy SSB squat to potentially do, depending on how I'm feeling, because I'm very fatigued at the moment. But that would potentially be a PB, and then I'm also working up to 150 kilos on the bench, so that'll be the heaviest bench I've done this year. So yeah, still focusing on my training, but with the idea of maybe switching up the training a little bit, depending on what I want to do for my next goal. The idea is maybe actually changing it to something like strongman. I don't know, I'm potentially thinking about dabbling in that, but yeah, I'm going to get tomorrow's training session out of the way, and then we'll talk goals a little bit later in the video. excuse me if I look a little bit rough, just got back from the gym and slight mixed emotions about that session, but predominantly feeling absolutely over the moon with that SSB. So matching my best ever back squat at 260 kilos, and I think this SSB actually probably moved a little bit better than the back squat that I did at my last comp in October when I did manage to get 260 kilos. So absolutely buzzing with that. It did kind of come out of the blue. I was expecting to potentially work up to 257.5 kilos, but there was the idea in my mind that I was going to be deloading today because my body has been feeling a little bit battered over the last few weeks. So I thought this was a good opportunity to maybe lower the weight. But I got into the gym and I was just feeling so good. So I said to Matt, I feel like 260 is definitely there. Can I go for it if I definitely don't fail? And he basically said, yeah, as long as you feel confident and you know you're not going to fail, then go for it. So yeah, absolutely buzzing to get it. It probably moved better than the 255 did a couple of weeks ago. The only annoying thing out of the session was my bench, inevitably. So I was meant to work up to 150 kilos, but as I was warming up, my pec was starting to get really tight. I benched on Monday and I did get up to 125 kilos for 2, and it was around then I could feel my pec was starting to feel a bit tight then. So I wasn't feeling super optimistic that I was going to have a very good bench session today anyway. So I got up to 120 today and decided to call it there because although I haven't strained my pec necessarily, I can definitely feel that it's too tight and it just doesn't feel right. It kind of feels like it did when I injured my pec, you know, at the end of last year. So I sort of know the signs of when not to push it, and I decided to leave it there, live to fight another day, and just take the win today, which was the 260 kilo on the SSB. So then, just going back to the start of the video where I talked about what my goals are going to be, my next sort of steps with what I want to be doing with the rest of the year in terms of my training. Do I want to go into a little bit strongman? Do I want to continue with British powerlifting and look for another comp there? Or do I want to even switch federations? Well, I've decided that I want to stick with British powerlifting, and I do want to do another comp in this federation because I really do feel like I've got unfinished business in terms of trying to get that 700 kilo total. So I've tried to get it last year, obviously in October, but then I had all my issues with my pec and everything, and I was far off it then. So I really do feel like as long as I can stay fit, I feel like that is definitely achievable, and obviously I'm feeling very confident after hitting a new squat PB on the SSB today. So that is probably going to be the goal, is to find a comp around about the same time that I would have been competing in the All Englands, and there is a comp in Gloucester in September. I think it's 24th of September, a nice sort of local meet to me. It's only about half an hour to an hour away. And yeah, hopefully that gives me plenty of time to continue training. It gives me an extra month on top of what I would have been doing for the All Englands to potentially hit that 700 kilos. So I really want to do that, and I do really want to compete at another national event in British powerlifting. So if I get that 700 kilo total, then hopefully look at the British next year, unless obviously the qualifying totals do go up and then maybe I don't actually qualify, but maybe I should aim for slightly above 700 just in case those qualifying totals do go up. But I have decided that I do want to sort of stick with powerlifting in this federation because I do think it is super competitive, and I would rather be in a competition where there is sort of people around you which are just phenomenal lifters, because I feel like that really does sort of keep pushing me. The other federations do look really fun, and I do respect them in terms of like the calibre of lifters there, because obviously they're amazing as well. But I just do feel, seeing as I've done British powerlifting, GBPF for the last sort of 8 years, I do sort of feel a kind of a connection there because I've been doing it for so long. So yeah, I do want to stick with the federation. I am going to stick with trying to aim for a 700 kilo total, and then hopefully if I get that, look at doing British next year. Anyway, I'm going to go and celebrate at the pub after getting a PB, but obviously I'm not going to be drinking, but I am tempted to get my first McDonald's in 6 months, because I actually gave up McDonald's as part of the giving up alcohol, and now it is 6 months and I'm not so worried about starting back up that little habit of mine. So potentially after the pub I might get myself a little Big Mac. Good morning, guys. So my McDonald's fast is still ongoing because I actually didn't get McDonald's in the end. I did just get a nice chicken Caesar salad, some pork hoisin bites, which was lovely, from my local pub. And I did get a beer, but a non-alcoholic beer, to celebrate Thursday's Squat PB. But we are currently up in Bradford, so me and my mates have met up, some of my schoolmates, because my mate lives up in Bradford, so we found this nice little, speak of the devil, we found this nice little glamping site, so we're spending the weekend up here, getting some nice walks in, get that active recovery in, so it's a nice 3 days off from the gym, so really looking forward to that, because my body is feeling absolutely battered. Six and a half K, so about 3K left.
Roughly, yeah?
Let's go.
Okay.
Oh, we went to Bali.
You having a good time, Matt?
Wonderful, a little bit sunburned, but absolutely lovely.
He's thinking of going.
I'm a bit worried about Michael's jerk chicken though.
So good.
Yeah?
Little bit spicy.
Oh, it's a bit spicy.
I'm crying, it's so spicy.
Speaking of a spicy boy.
Sexy, mate.
Oh, well, today has been a pretty awesome day. Lots of walking. How many steps did we end up doing in the end?
30,500.
30,500 steps. I'm going to be feeling that on Monday when I train, but it's been an awesome day today. I really enjoyed my weekend. Going to be heading back down to Bristol tomorrow. Nice long drive for me, about 4.5 hours, but yeah, it's been great to catch up with the guys. Love you.
Love you too.
Oh, thank you, that's what I was saying for. Alright, I'll catch you guys in a bit. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like if you have. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Peace!